Chapter 1. The Boy from Niani in the Heart of West Africa. Where the savannah meets the sky, there lived a young boy named Musa in the modest city of Niani. Like any child his age, he would spend his evenings sitting cross-legged on woven mats, eyes wide with wonder as village elders shared tales of mighty empires that once ruled these lands. But Musa was different. While other children played with sticks and stones, he would sit for hours, listening intently to stories of the great Ghana Empire, its golden trade routes and magnificent courts. His mother often caught him staring at the horizon, lost in dreams far bigger than their humble home could contain. One day, an old wise woman visited Niani. As she passed Musa, she stopped suddenly, her eyes glazing over as if seeing beyond the present. "Child," she whispered, her voice carrying on the wind, "your footsteps will leave gold where they fall." The other children laughed, but Musa held those words close to his heart. Little did anyone know that this young boy from Niani, who spent his days learning about honor, knowledge, and faith, would one day become the richest man in human history, and his empire would outshine even his wildest childhood dreams. Chapter 2. Rise of a king in the vast lands of ancient Mali, where legends were born and destiny awaited. A man named Musa stood at the threshold of an empire in chaos. The previous emperor had vanished without a trace, sailing west into the endless ocean, leaving behind a realm teetering on the edge of collapse. Musa didn't ask for the crown, fate thrust it upon him. But as he looked across his troubled kingdom, he saw more than just the immediate challenges. Widespread famine that turned fertile fields to dust, rebellious factions threatening to tear the empire apart, and a people lost in the darkness of ignorance. But where others saw obstacles, Musa saw opportunity. With unwavering determination, he began weaving together the fabric of a new Mali, one golden thread at a time. He understood that true power wasn't just in the clash of swords, but in the jingle of coins and the whispers of wisdom. Trade routes bloomed like rivers of gold across the Sahara. Caravans carried not just precious metals and exotic goods, but ideas, art, and knowledge. Under Musa's guidance, Islam became more than just a religion. It became a foundation for learning and culture. This was how a reluctant ruler began transforming a fractured land into what would become one of history's most magnificent empires. The story of Mali's golden age was just beginning, and Musa was writing its first brilliant chapter. Chapter 3. The City of Scholars, Imagine. A city where knowledge flows like gold through its streets. This was Timbuktu, transformed by Mansa Musa into Africa's beacon of wisdom. Not content with just material wealth, Musa had a grander vision, to create a paradise for the mind. From Cairo to Baghdad, his call echoed across the Islamic world. "Come to Timbuktu." The greatest minds answered, brilliant scholars carrying precious manuscripts, poets whose words painted pictures in the desert air, and architects whose visions would reshape the city's skyline. But Musa's masterpiece? The University of Sankore. Picture this: mud brick buildings rising from the sand, their walls holding whispers of ancient wisdom. Inside, scholars debated philosophy under carved wooden beams, while students from across Africa and beyond filled their minds with knowledge as precious as the gold that built their school. And then there was the desert library, growing book by book, manuscript by manuscript. What began as a humble collection would become one of history's greatest treasures, a vault of human knowledge in the heart of the Sahara. This wasn't just a city anymore. This was Timbuktu, the city of scholars, where the sands of the desert met the endless horizons of human knowledge. Chapter 4. The Call to Mecca. Have you ever heard of a king so wealthy that his generosity crashed an entire economy? Let me tell you about Mansa Musa and the most extraordinary pilgrimage in history. It was the year 1324, and Mansa Musa, ruler of the Mali Empire, felt a powerful calling in his heart. As a devout Muslim, he knew he had to make the Hajj, the sacred journey to Mecca that every Muslim dreams of completing. But Mansa Musa didn't do anything small. When he decided to answer this spiritual call, he prepared for it in a way that would leave the world speechless. Picture this: thousands of camels stretching across the horizon, each laden with pure gold. 60,000 followers creating a sea of movement across the desert sands. This wasn't just a pilgrimage, it was a statement to the world. His closest advisors pulled him aside before the journey, their faces etched with concern. "Your Majesty," they warned, "remember that too much generosity can become a curse." But Mansa Musa just smiled. Little did he know how prophetic those words would prove to be, as his legendary journey was about to reshape the economy of an entire region and write his name into the pages of history forever. Chapter 5, Gold in the Sand in the heart of the Sahara. Where the sun burns like a golden eye in the sky, Musa's caravan pressed forward. The endless waves of sand stretched before them like a shimmering ocean, each dune a challenge to overcome. Day after day, they battled the merciless elements. Sandstorms would whip up without warning, forcing them to shield their faces and huddle close to their camels. The precious water in their leather bags grew warmer with each passing hour, but they couldn't afford to waste a single drop. But Musa was no ordinary traveler. In his caravan's cargo, gold gleamed, their key to survival. When food ran scarce, he'd trade golden coins for dates and dried meat. When wells were controlled by local tribes, he'd offer golden trinkets for the right to drink. Some desert tribes welcomed them with open arms, sharing stories around nighttime fires and offering guidance through treacherous paths. Others, their eyes glinting with greed, would emerge from behind rocky outcrops, weapons drawn. Yet even these threats melted away when Musa cleverly negotiated with his golden treasury. The desert, they learned, was like gold itself, beautiful but unforgiving, valuable but dangerous. And as their caravan pushed forward, they understood that sometimes survival isn't about how much gold you have, but how wisely you use it. Chapter 6, The Pharaoh's Shadow, Cairo. Picture: Cairo, a bustling medieval metropolis, where merchants and traders gather under the scorching Egyptian sun. But on this particular day in 1324, the city holds its breath as an unprecedented spectacle unfolds. A massive caravan approaches from the west. Thousands of people, hundreds of camels. And at its center, a man whose wealth would become the stuff of legend, Mansa Musa, ruler of Mali. The Sultan of Egypt eagerly awaits this African king, but nothing could prepare him for what he's about to witness. As Mansa Musa enters the city, gold literally follows in his footsteps. His generosity knows no bounds. He hands out gold to the poor, to merchants, to officials, as casually as if he were tossing bread to birds. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. This extraordinary display of wealth, this rain of gold, becomes too much of a good thing. Every piece of gold Mansa Musa gives away sends ripples through Cairo's delicate economy. The price of gold plummets. The market spirals into chaos. And just like that, one man's generosity accidentally devastates Cairo's economy for the next 10 years. But while the city struggles to recover, Mansa Musa's legend grows. From Morocco to Mecca, tales of the African king who had so much gold he crashed an empire's economy spread like wildfire, cementing his place in history as perhaps the wealthiest person who ever lived.
Enjoying the video, correct? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Please leave your feedback, hit like, share the content.
Chapter 7, Mecca, a king among pilgrims. As the sun rises over the sacred city of Mecca, Mansa Musa, the wealthiest man in history, stands barefoot like any other pilgrim. Here, even a king must bow his head, for in the house of God all are equal. With each step around the Kaaba, his golden robes replaced by simple white garments, Musa feels a transformation within. The mighty ruler of Mali, who commands vast armies and endless riches, now prostrates himself alongside merchants and farmers, princes and paupers. His heart, touched by this humbling experience, opens wider than ever before. He begins distributing gold and alms to every poor soul he encounters in the holy city. Each giving moment reminds him that true wealth lies not in what we keep, but in what we share. In the company of great Islamic scholars, Musa sits like a student, drinking in their wisdom. Their teachings light a fire within him, a vision of transforming Mali into a shining center of Islamic learning and faith. He vows that his kingdom will become a beacon, where mosques and universities will rise from the African soil, and knowledge will flow like the mighty Niger River. In Mecca, Mansa Musa isn't just completing a pilgrimage. He's discovering the true meaning of leadership, one that serves both God and people. Chapter 8, Return of the Golden King. After months of journeying across distant lands, Mansa Musa finally returned to Mali, but he wasn't alone. His caravan, once laden with gold, now carried something far more precious, minds filled with knowledge and hands skilled in creation. Architects who had studied the grand structures of Cairo, scholars who had debated in the halls of Mecca, and engineers who had mastered the arts of construction and innovation. The streets of Timbuktu buzzed with excitement as Musa unveiled his grandest vision yet, the magnificent Jingarabur Mosque. Rising from the earth like a golden giant, its unique design blended West African and Islamic architecture in ways never seen before. Built from sun-baked mud bricks, it stood as a testament to both innovation and tradition. But Musa's true legacy was just beginning. Under his rule, Mali entered its golden age. Libraries sprouted like flowers after rain. Their shelves filled with countless manuscripts on everything from astronomy to poetry. Trade routes that once carried only gold now pulsed with ideas and innovation. In the marketplace, merchants from distant lands mingled with local traders, their voices creating a symphony of prosperity. Most importantly, justice flourished throughout the empire. The same generosity that Musa had shown in Mecca now touched every corner of Mali, transforming it into a beacon of learning and fairness in West Africa. The Golden King had returned, and with him came an age of enlightenment that would echo through centuries.
Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into Chapter 9, The Last Fortune, where we explore the fascinating story of Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. In the twilight of his remarkable life, Mansa Musa, the richest man who ever lived, sat beneath the golden skies of Mali, his eyes filled with wisdom earned through years of ruling an empire. His hands, once adorned with countless rings of gold, now held something far more precious: the small hands of his young grandson. "You see all this gold, my child?" he asked, gesturing to the vast palace around them. "I've traveled across deserts, built mosques of gold, and made kings bow in awe of Mali's wealth. But now, as I watch the sunset each evening, I understand a truth that took me a lifetime to learn." The great emperor rose slowly, leading his grandson to a secret chamber. There, he revealed maps marked with hidden locations across his vast empire. "I've scattered our fortune throughout these lands," he explained, "not to hide it from enemies, but to preserve it for our people's future." As his grandson's eyes widened with wonder, Mansa Musa smiled gently. "Remember this, my dear child, I've seen gold turn men mad, watched wealth corrupt the purest hearts, but knowledge, faith, these are the true treasures that have guided our people through generations. Gold may fade and lose its shine, but wisdom and faith, they illuminate the path forever." Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this chapter, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating historical tales. Until next time, keep exploring.
Chapter 10. The King Who Touched the World Throughout History. There have been kings and emperors who changed the world, but few left a legacy as golden as Mansa Musa. Even centuries after his death, his name continues to shimmer through time like the precious metal that made him famous. When Mansa Musa's journey on Earth came to an end, something extraordinary happened. Instead of fading into obscurity like many rulers before him, his legend only grew stronger. European cartographers, amazed by tales of his wealth and generosity, began adding something special to their maps. The mighty empire of Mali, marked by the image of its greatest king, wearing a magnificent golden crown. But perhaps Mansa Musa's most lasting impact wasn't just the gold he possessed or gave away. It was the Gold Road, that ancient trading route that connected West Africa to the world. Under his reign, it transformed into something far more meaningful than just a path for merchants and travelers. It became a powerful symbol of African excellence, innovation, and prosperity. Today, when we look back at Mansa Musa's story, we're reminded that true greatness isn't measured just in gold, but in how we touch the lives of others and the legacy we leave behind. His tale continues to inspire, proving that some stories, like gold itself, never lose their luster.